Constitution?
No. What, just repeat it, sir.
There is documented. There are, in fact, active cases of corruption at Iebc formally.
Yes.
So if this committee approves you and Parliament approves you and finally you are appointed to be a commissioner of Iebc, what practical steps will you take, measures, to seal corruption loopholes at Iebc?
Thank you. Yes, Senior.
Please, the final one.
Muhwana, I'd like you to look at Article 166. If you just open it, 166. Actually, no, 163. Sorry, 166.3. It appears to me from your documents that you finished at the Kenya School of Law in 2013. And from your documents, you say you've been a member of the Law Society from 2014. You have not included your certificate of admission. I suppose then it means you admitted in 2014. That then means you're an advocate of 11 years standing. Under Article 166.3, you require at least 15 years experience, either as a distinguished academic, judicial officer, legal practitioner, or such experience in other relevant legal field. I'd like you to persuade us, or at least persuade me, on how you meet those qualifications of 15 years under Article 166.3b. Thank you.
Look at the sections, all of us, the articles together, so that we don't also. I think let's start with with 88, so that he's able to answer and we don't. 88 states as follows. For the a person is not eligible for appointment as a member of the commission if the person has at any time within the preceding 5 years held office or stood for election as a member of parliament or a member of county assembly or a member of governing body or holds any state office. A member of the commission shall not hold office, public office. No, a member of the commission shall not hold any other public office. Where is the qualification?
Chair, actually, on that issue also, on the question you had raised, Chair, I think that the rider to that is on 88.2A, Roman 2, because you say that you are legal advisor to ANC. I think as you are responding, also just indicate that you are not a member of the governing body.
I want to call. Where do I find qualification for members?
No,
constitutional.
Yes.
The act. Where is the act? Let's read the act. No, members, please. A qualification for appointment as chairperson or member of the commission. The chairperson of the commission shall be a person who is qualified to hold the office of a judge of the Supreme Court under the Constitution. A person is qualified for appointment as a member of the commission if such a person holds a degree from a recognized, has proven knowledge in the following matters that are set out over there. At least 10 years. Where is it? At least 10 years?
Where is it 10 years?
Has proven knowledge and at least 10 years experience in any of the following fields. Among the many of them is number 6, which is law, 10 years. All right, I think that one we've tried to sort it out. Okay, very quickly, go through the other questions one by one, precise, concise, and brief.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Sir, The first question which came from the Honorable Chair of this committee is, what experience do I have in election processes, which then would make me disposed to assuming the position of the member of this commission? Number one, I'm a proven educator. A Iebc requires not only those who have been there and worked there, but requires people who can learn on their feet, educate the Kenyans, and be able to get the numbers of our young people out there to vote. I'm a consummate educator, rose on my knees, but thank God I'm here. So I bring education. Number two, communication. If you read the Carter Center report of 2017, exit report of 2017 election, part of the tensions that were witnessed in the country were blamed on the fact that the IBC announced results before completion of the entire process without communicating to the public that it was okay to do so under the law, but most importantly, that once those main results come, they'll be made public. So I bring my ability and capacity to communicate. Honorable Chair, one great business guru said, if you do anything without marketing it, you are like a guy who is winking at a very beautiful lady, but in pitch darkness. She will never know you winked, and you'll never find a headway. So IBC must develop marketing strategies to market the commission, and that I have. Thank you.
Next question,
please. The next question again was from the chair, Honorable Chair. Thanks for the good remarks that have been an outstanding advocate for the ANC party, and therefore there are insinuations that have been brought here to get keep. And I'll tie that with what my learned senior has alluded to, whether my presence in ANC has anything that would bar me from this position. Far from it. I was the lawyer for ANC in my capacity as a professional lawyer and a consultant. I still appear for ANC until when it wound up the other day. I was placed in charge of the winding up process because I am the consultant to the party. I'm not a member of the organ of the ANC party, which in any event, it is now defunct and it's not an issue at the moment. I thank you. Honorable Chair, even animals in the jungle will tell you that one time they had an interaction with this other animal and this other animal. It is unusual that you'll have a nominee here who has never met anyone in the political field, never known anyone, and therefore he has just fallen from Mars. My association with the ANC party has been part of my mentorship as a lawyer. They gave me an opportunity to practice law as their consultant, and that is what I did. I do not think that it will be very fair for that to be used against me, because again, Chair, I've learned that even those who say you'll not do a good job, when they come this side, others will say the same thing. So many times it is not a very fair perception, but we are humans. We must take them in stride. That is in answer to the questions from the Honorable Chair. The Honorable Mogaka.
Governing. You are a member of the governing party.
I've already responded and said I was an ANC lawyer. I practice as a lawyer. That's how I earn my living. And for ANC, I have been the lawyer for the party in my professional capacity. I have not been an occupant in any political organ or governing organ of the party. The Honorable Mogaka, the Honorable Member from Nyamira, thank you for the very kind words. You say that the dates I've indicated as the university are conflicting. That has been my story. Even when I joined the University of Nairobi, actually I enrolled in 1999, but I could not even get going until those dates that are indicated on that particular one. And for your information, if you look at my certificates, the transcript, they came way later. Because whereas those who were lucky to have the money and pay, they graduated way earlier than me. I graduated way later. So there is no material conflict. It's just the story of my troubled childhood and upbringing. But it's a journey I'm proud to say I went through. Presidential Task Force. The Presidential Task Force that I have been a member is the one that deals with the presidential, is a Presidential Task Force for addressing human resources for health. You know, there has been a big problem in the medical, with our hospitals, in the Ministry of Health. So I got the favor of His Excellency the President of the Republic to be a member of the Presidential Task Force. And that which has since been injuncted by Parliament, and it's not moving. Actually, it has been stopped, although there is an appeal. So yes, I was appointed, but as we speak, nothing's happening because there is a court ruling against it. A member of UDA...
Chair, may I interject on that presidential...
yes, Honorable Mogaka.
I just wanted clarity whether the president that appointed him to that task force is Dr. William Ruto. And therefore, in the event Dr. William Ruto is a candidate in a presidential or any other election, will he be conflicted, or will Kenyans trust is refereeing from Iebc? Because that is the material thing. Thank you.
Very good.
I was actually coming to
confirm to that.
The president...
When it was?
The president saw something useful that I could add to the nation. I don't think he chose me so that if he stands for election...
Which president? Uhuru Kenyatta?
His Excellency, the President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the current President of the Republic, saw something useful in my capacity and appointed me to be a member of that presidential task force. I do not think that where he sits, with profound respect, he expects that if I get this job, I will not work in accord with the dictates of the Constitution and the law just because he gave me a job. From where I sit, I've done a good job there, I'll do a good job there. If I had done a bad job at the ANC party, as they've mentioned, I'm sure not have landed at the task force, because people always get these referrals. Even Jesus Christ in the Bible asked his disciples for feedback, and he asked, who the people say I am? So without a good feedback, nobody will touch you. But the fact that somebody has touched you, he has been graceful to give you a job, does not mean that now when you get this other job, you will therefore not do the job correctly because you benefited from his favor. That is stretching generosity a bit too far.
May I kindly go to the next questions?
The Honorable Mogaka had said, what if UDA fields a presidential candidate and then wins? Will Kenyans believe the result just because I have benefited from His Excellency the President's appointment? First of all, belonging to a party and exercising political rights is a constitutional right under Article 38. So whoever comes here then has exercised that right. You either belong to Jubilee Party, you belong to ODM, you belong to UDA, or any other party. But the important thing is that now, if God gives these honorable members the grace to recommend that I get the job, what is my standing as far as the political party is concerned, and how does that impact my performance as a commissioner? That is the question we're talking about. And from where I sit, I'll do the work because that is why I will have been given that work. Honorable Mogaka, you say, why join the commission, not politics, not the ballot? I'm not sure where that came from. I didn't see it coming. Mwenyezi Mungu ni Mwenyezi Mungu wa majira. Na maisha binadamu huenda kwa majira yake. Majira ya sasa ni kwamba naomba kazi. Nikijaliwa nipewe, hii ndio nitashukuru. Kama Mwenyezi Mungu atanipa ruhusa wakati mwingine kwamba niingie sasa hilo ni lake Mola si langu. Lakini asante kwa maono mazuri.
Yeah, he's just perceived. He's listened to you, examined you, and eventually he's concluded possibly should be running for an elective position and not going for IBC commission. That's where he wanted you to confirm really where do you fit best.
For now, I'm looking for this job, and I request your favor. The Honorable Makali, my senior brother in legal practice from Kandui, Muskoma Primary School, you said there is a trust deficit, kwamba Wakenya hawaamini IEBC. Si kwamba Kenya hayaamini IEBC, ni kwamba Wakenya hawaaminiani wenyewe kwa wenyewe. Zamani baba wangu alikuwa ananionya, zamani walikuwa naambiwa chungeni wanyama wa mwitu mkitembea barabarani, watawakula. Siku hizi ananiambia kwamba babangu Javan yungali hai Lamin, anasema kwamba siku hizi ogopa binadamu mwenzako, na nitaongezea ogopa Mkenya mwenzako. Kwa hivyo shida si IEBC. We must address the bigger problem. But for the interest of time, allow me, the Honorable Chair, sir, just to give what I think would be a first step in addressing this problem. The biggest problem in our election patterns has been that there is this perception that the bigger ethnic communities will gang up and they'll have it all. And why is it that those who are more in numbers indeed have done that? It is because the electoral system we have allows it. What is our electoral system? It is a majoritarian system, as opposed to the proportional representation system. A majoritarian system simply says, kwa Swahili tutasema, wengi wape, usipowapa watachukua kwa wingi wa mikono yao. That is what the majoritarian system says. So in Kenya, as long as you know that in our place, our mothers have worked very hard and therefore we are many, and you look at the other side where mothers have also done a good job and there are many, you don't care about the other smaller ones. And why should you? Because you just need 50 and then you add 1. So if I can go to one region and get 30% of the population, just by going to the leaders of that region, and go to another and get 20, why should I bother the small tribes? So the problem is not because IEBC has an inherent problem. The problem is because the ecosystem within which IEBC is operating is faulty. Why don't we try the party list system of election, where you have an election system that provides that we will vote on the basis of parties? For example, Party X will present the list of their leaders in order of priority and the party. Party X, Party Y, and so forth. So when we go to the elections, you are looking at the party, number one. When you elect that party, if in the election the party gets 40% of the votes, it takes 40% of government. If another party gets 20%, it takes 20% of government. Therefore, this mad rush for numbers in particular communities will dissipate. Number two, because there is a list of the leaders of Party X, we'll solve the problem of the gender parity that we've been struggling with. We are unable to solve it. Because the citizen will look at the party which has complied with the two-thirds gender rule, PWD, marginalized, and even know who will become the minister if that party wins. That way also, you are sure that by casting your vote, you are casting to the right party. The majoritarian system...
Nominee, it's a good proposal.
Yeah.
And for purposes, you are aware that will require a constitutional amendment.
Yes. Because the question, this issue of trust deficit has been an anathema in this country. And I wasn't following what others have been asked, but I guess they also must have been asked trust deficit. So there are many angles to the trust deficit. What I'm proposing is just one way of looking at it, but there are many others. Okay, we also have not behaved well as Kenyans. It is possible that things have not been right at one time. But it is not a question you can answer in one straight answer in this kind of session, Honorable Makali.
So in your view, it's the ecosystem which...
Correct.
Okay.
It is the political ecosystem that we have to reconfigure.
So Chair, sorry. then if you become a commissioner, there's nothing you can do about it.
Honorable Daoud, every great thing has happened in life has begun by talking. By talking, by presenting these views, I'm encouraging a discussion around it. This will not be for IBC. This is a national conversation that we would like one time somebody would run with it. It is not that I'll do nothing. Of course, as an IBC commissioner, you can only recommend. That's why you have been put there. Look at the flash points. Give recommendations to parliamentarians because they are the ones who represent the people of Kenya. IBC is a state organ. But the people who represent the citizens and the voters of this country are these ladies and gentlemen here who will then be tasked with this conversation.
Thank you. Is that the last question?
Yeah, this is, this was from the Honorable Makali. There's the Honorable Mutuse, again, my senior brother.
Delimitation, please.
Oh, delimitation.
Yeah.
Look, if, inshallah, we get this exercise through before we are time-barred, then something will be done. But I'm aware that there is active litigation out there. So we are not sure what time this may be settled. If we go beyond, because the Constitution says that if we are going to do the boundary delimitation, 12 months must be clear before the implementation. Anything beyond that, it will not work. So it all, my brother, Honorable Makali, it depends on how soon this process will end. If not, we go into a constitutional spin and crisis.
Right. Thank you very much. Is there any other question
yes,
that is not
Honorable
answered?
Makali, thank you.
Now, Honorable Mutuse.
Honorable Mutuse, the IBC staff commissioners have been accused of bias. There is a procurement that has, it's said, it is many times inflated. My senior brother, this country sometimes is hard. It is not easy to say whether indeed those brothers and sisters of ours in the IBC in the past have been biased. Because what does Article 50 say? The right to fair hearing. Until somebody is adjudged to have been biased, from where I sit as an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, it will not be right for me to say they have been. However, in Kenya we have perceptions and gossips many times rules in this country. So if you allow me to digress a bit and say that if that is the gossip and procurements have been inflated, it is all about the human nature. The laws are there, you have to do what's right. You're sitting in that chair, you know what to do, you have to do it right. If something happens to you and you decide to do what you want, how will we deal with you? It is the law that will deal with you. And that is why some sages have said that sometimes there are no more devils in hell. They're all here. And one would be tempted to think they're all in Kenya. Because if you have the rules in front of you, there are the procurement rules. The best you can do is to go by them, and if you have a problem going by them, refer to the appointing authority. But I know that there have been problems, and some of them are human problems, some of them are ecosystem problems, like I've said to my brother, Honorable Makali. What if the leader of ANC, we do not have ANC now, but what if members of the ANC participate in elections, say go for presidency, would my presence here be deemed to impact negatively or positively? Look, Alutalala Mukwana cannot be the commission. There is collegiality in the commission, and decisions of the commission are made at the plenary. In any case, if at one point I should encounter a situation where I feel I'm seriously conflicted as not to render my constitutional duty as a commissioner of IBC, if I'm favored by these honorable committee members, then I'll declare conflict and let the decision be made by others. How may I seal corruption? Again, the ecosystem. It is not a story that can be told now before these honorable and distinguished members of JLAC. It is a story that requires a national conversation. The other day, somebody asked, why do you say our police officers are corrupt? Do they pick the money from your pocket? It looked crude, but there was a point there that it takes two to tango. So why is it that we have succumbed? We'll say, if you don't do, you're in more trouble. But you can also say, you would rather get into the trouble, but right the wrong. It is a difficult conversation. This forum today cannot answer all that. Thank you. Finally, Honorable.
Yes. Finally, let him do finally then. Just interjection.
Just to help you on that question, I think you answered my second question. On the first question, just answer it by indicating the date of your admission. That's all you need to indicate.
The date of my admission is 2014. That is when I got the admission. It is in my record, the admission certificate.
All right, thank you. So Honorable Mogaka?
Chair, I wanted, as he concludes response to the Vice Chair's remarks, my concern is, and I admire the strong opinion about the ecosystem of our electoral system. My question is, given, rather, in the event we have an overload of lawyers in the commission, is the country risking divergence of opinion and lack of consensus, and therefore a worse than a 2022 situation?
Honorable, thank you.
All right, conclude with those remarks.
Yes.
On the finally and
yes, when I was looking,
sincerely, when I was looking, I mean, we were warned, and we are worried about the warning. You are going to preside over that. What is your answer to what he has just asked?
So they seem to be two different ones. He's asking about too much concentration of lawyers in IBC. Did I get it right?
Yes, I say in the event we have an overload of lawyers in the commission with as a strong opinions and observations like yours on the ecosystem and everything else, will the country not land in a worse situation than 2022, where commissioners are singing a discordant band?
Look, it is important to have a position in life, but it is equally important to appreciate positions of others. If you do that, there can be no issue of overload. I was just looking at some of your introductions and noticed there are almost 5 lawyers in this committee. And I wonder whether there has been an overload here compared to your numbers. Oh, they are actually all lawyers. Thank you. So, Council, I do not think that really is a problem as long as there's
this is the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee. He's talking about IEBC.
Yes, but Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, the issues they handle are not just about the law. I've looked at what you handle. It's beyond the law. So basically,
Chair, we have not heard discordance from JLAC, but we have heard it from IEBC before. And that is why I'm asking. And it is a very serious issue to Kenyans, because in the absence of agreement on what the result from IEBC is, where do we leave this country?
Chairman, thank you very much, Honorable Mogaka. Just for laughs, luckily the split screen did not involve at least one side, the lead of the other side. I don't think that was Council, was she? I don't think she was. And so it is safe to have councils around. After all, IBC many times is on a legal drip. Many times.
All your questions, I think you have.
Thank you very much.
All right, the final questions from the committee.
Yes.
Now, these are routine questions on Chapter 6, so that we confirm that you're suitable. Number 1, have you been convicted of any criminal offense in your past?
No.
No. And number 2, have you been named as having contravened Chapter 6 of the Constitution on ethics? Number 3, which conflict of interest do you have with IEBC? Or are you likely to have any?
None.
That which comes into your knowledge?
None, to my knowledge presently. Lakini ya kesho ni ya Mwenyezi Mungu. If it does occur, there is the law.
There is the law which will dictate what you're going to do.
I'm supposed to do, yes.
All right. Pro bono work? Do you do pro bono work?
Yes. I do a lot. The Honorable Makali talked about my TV. I do a lot of civic education.
Civic education.
Both on international media, TV, radio. But I've gone to the villages in vernacular stations, and I do a lot of pro bono civic education on the rights of your rights of arrested persons. What do you do when you have a dispute of land?
Okay.
And I'm huge on that one.
Very good.
Thank you.
Finally, we've heard of the corruption in Iebc. We are alive to it, and you must be cautious so that we monitor how you're going to progress.
Yes.
What is your net worth?
Chairman, that is a question I struggled with when I was asked, because I didn't think I'm worth to be assessed in terms of net worth. But then I took everything that I have, and I'm worth 55,230,000.
55,230,000.
Yeah, and I must say this is family.
It's family.
Yes.
Me
and my wife.
You and your wife.
Yes.
Right. What is your current income?
Well,
what is your current source of income?
Practice.
Practice of law.
Yes, sir.
Any anticipated sources of income in the near future, apart from, of course, as an advocate, we know of pending bills.
No, yes, only pending
you're
bills.
pending fee notes that have to be paid.
Yes.
All right.
Bills, yeah.
So that must be taken into account.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Moses, thank you for appearing before us. We conclude the session with you now. Release you to go. You get your original documents back. We aren't giving you our verdict now, as you know. We must report to the House, and the House is going to take the decision itself.
Yes.
Thank you very much for appearing before us.
Honorable Chair, allow me to thank you once again for your time and for the privilege of your audience. Asante sana.
Do one more, then we break for lunch. After lunch, we come and continue with the other three very quickly. So, in comes Mary Karen's Keegan, Sorobit. Oh, we are doing 30 minutes only now. The coming in is Sorobit.
TV.
Nina furaha na shukrani kuwa ulizaliwa, kwamba upendo wako ni wangu, na maisha yetu wawili yamefumwa na kuunganishwa pamoja kama nyuzi za uteo. Na tuombea dua kwa Mwenyezi atupe afya na maisha marefu yenye furaha na baraka tele.
Ili kuset furaha kama sikiza tune yako, dial *811 *619#.
One day, you will eat, walk, and talk like royalty. I need you to wake up.
Uko aware this is not a game?
Make it happen.
We need to shut this business down.
Hii biashara ndo kila kitu kwenye hii familia. Nikufe ama nisikufe.
Kama mbaya, mbaya.
An eye for an eye.
What is your family involved in? Go close to take control over the hearts of empire. Winning noma sana.
Usife moyo, weka matumaini yako hai. Ipo siku maombi yako yatatimia. Ipo siku neema itashuka maishani mwako. Zidi kuweka matumaini yako hai. Kwegwatira skiza tune tumaini hihinya *811 *48#. Wegwatira skiza tune tumaini thimwene yakwa mothe *811 *48#.
Thirikari ya Murang'a County itogoretio ni Governor Irungu Kang'ata ni marakurehera kigomano kinene kia biashara nikio Murang'a Investment Conference. Kigomano giki gikahanika kuria Thika Greens Golf Resort tariki 13 na tariki 14 mweri wa June. Kiria kirakuhe mweke wa gucemania na network na investors age na kuyonera mieke ere kuwa ya wonjoria thini wa Murang'a County. Mieke ta County Industrial and Aggregation Park kuria Kafati, SMEs Park, Export Processing Zone kuria wena mweke wa agro processing na mage maige. Kuyandikithia ta delegate hihinya *267 *21#. Orege hihinya *267 *21#. Namarehi no shirigi giri komitu. Murang'a Investment Conference 2025. Unlocking Murang'a as an industrial hub.
Asante kwa kunipigia simu. Simu yako nitaipokea kwa muda usiokuwa mrefu. Je, unajua kuwa wimbo wa taifa wa Kenya ulitokana na wimbo wa Kipokomo, mojawapo ya kabila za pwani nchini Kenya? Wimbo rasmi ulitungwa na Thomas Johnson Kalume.
Ili kuset asante kwa kunipigia kama sikiza tune yako, dial *811 *622#.
People Daily, Kenya's trusted newspaper, is making history as the first daily to go fully digital. By transitioning from print to the PD News app, we are delivering the same exceptional journalism you've relied on for years in a completely new way to experience it. It's news for today and the future. No paper, no waste. Just real-time updates and customizable stories. This is a leap towards innovation, sustainability, and a better experience for you, our reader. Download the PD app now on Play Store and App Store. People Daily. News that moves with you.
Member of Parliament for Runyenje's constituency and a member of this committee.
Otiende Amolo, member for Arieda. We shared the same year, but not the class.
That is very true. She must have been, were you A-level?
I was in the A-level group.
A-level group, and he was in
Amolo Tiende was in the 844.
Good. Senior Mogaka.
Chair, my name is Stephen Mogaka, elected by West Mugrango constituency in Nyamira. I've shared nothing with the nominee.
That's a very good disclosure, which discloses nothing. they share the profession. Apart from meeting in the courts and everything else, that is the sharing we have. Thank you so much. Secretariat.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Peter Chemwena. I'm Director, Departmental Committees. And on my left are members of the Secretariat for the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee. And they consist of committee clerks, legal counsel, research officers, and other administrative officers. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Mary Karen, we will now administer an oath to you. You profess your faith, and then we are able to swear you.
I, Mary Karen Keegan Sorobit, do swear that the information I shall give before this committee on the matter under its consideration shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Oh, thank you. All right. So, Mary Karen, now take us through the journey of your life. I mean, from which village, all the way we saw you in the university, past the university, all the way up to where you are today, appearing before us for vetting, as it is popularly known, so that we can confirm whether you're suitable or not suitable to become a commissioner of IEBC. 10 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman and members of the committee. It's a privilege appearing before this committee. I know it's not a right, and I want to sincerely thank you, and also thank you for the good work that you're doing for Kenya. On the onset, I submit myself 100% to the jurisdiction of this committee. My name is Mary Karen Keegan Sorobit. I was born Keegan, the way the chair has informed. Sorobit is my husband, so that is the acquired name. I was born in Wazingishu County 56 years ago. I went to the local primary school, did A-levels in 1989, and on 27th day of January 1990, I joined the University of Nairobi for a Bachelor's of Law degree as the last group of A-levels. I went to law school, we finished in 1993, but we could not go to law school in 1994 because there were some technicalities, a group of that we follow, the class in between. So I joined the law school in 1995. We did exams in October, and then I was gazetted in December, and I signed the roll of 11th day of January 1996. So I have served or practiced law for 29 years as an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. I'm also a CPAK, a Certified Public Secretary of Kenya. Chair, from the time I left the university, I started practice. I practiced law locally in the firm of Kibera and Company Advocates. I moved to corporate in Eldoret. They call it the Bullet Factory, but it's Kenya Ordnance Factories Corporation, where I started as a legal officer but left as a corporation secretary. That is when I learned working with the military and working with the military position. I came back to Nairobi in 2003 when I got married, and I started working in the firm of Robson Harris. Shortly thereafter, I moved to the Law Society of Kenya as the deputy CEO, head of compliance and ethics, and most importantly, the secretary to the Advocates Disciplinary Committee, where I ran the disciplinary, providing the secretariat services. And I worked there, then moved to, there was a new transitional commission, that is Judges and Magistrate Vetting Board, whereby I moved there as an assisting counsel. From prosecuting my colleagues or being in charge of my colleagues' lawyers, I moved in now to deal with the judges and magistrate as an assisting counsel. Same things that I was doing in LSK, but now in charge as judges. Then from there, when it ended, I'll come back to that one. I went to Jubilee Party of Kenya, and I want to declare that I was not a member of the Governing Council of Jubilee Party of Kenya. I went there as a member of the Secretariat, where I was the Deputy CEO and Head of Compliance and Ethics. It is from the Jubilee Constitution, it is only the ED who is member of the Governing Council. So that was our boss. I worked there in Jubilee Party of Kenya until 2021, when I moved back to practice. In between, I've had some tour of duties. I was in the board of Kenya National Highways, in Kenya National Highways Authority, that's Kenya, for a period of 6 years, representing the Law Society of Kenya. I was a nominee of the Law Society of Kenya, whereby I was also the chair of Audit Governance and Risk Committee for a period of 6 years, where I discharged my duties. And I was also a member of the IBC selection panel. That is in 2017. The 2017, the one of the former commissioners. Currently, I'm in practice. I think, in short, that is given the time. Yes.
Thank you very much. I think that cuts it. You've been all over. You've done everything with everybody. Now, these members have a few questions to ask you. And who starts? Honorable Dawood.
Chair, thank you very much. The nominee said that he was a Deputy Executive Director for Jubilee Party. I am actually a member of Jubilee Party. I've been elected through that party. But, Madam Sorobit, if you look at Article 88, I know you kind of answered it, but I have to ask the question. Article 88 of our Constitution, 88, 2A, Roman numeral 2, it says that a person is not eligible for appointment as a member of the Commission if the person is a member of a governing body of a political party. You reference the Jubilee Constitution, which unfortunately none of us has. We will look at it much later, but right now we don't have it. Now I want, if you're familiar with that Constitution, were you, as a Deputy Executive Director of Jubilee, were you a member of Jubilee's Governing Council?
Out of that, anybody else who has a question? Honorable Farah.
Madam Sorobit, I have gone through your CV, which clearly is extremely impressive, very, very impressive. And I must congratulate you for all this you've gone through. And you have conducted elections many times at the party level, as well as at the LSK level. It's my presumption that if everybody, you have luck or the chance of becoming a member of this commission, you will bring a lot of what you call of that knowledge that you have into practice. In your own opinion, when you look back at this, because you've also been in the political environment, when you look back in our own electoral process in this country, in a nutshell, what exactly ails us? Because from 1992, when I first came to Parliament myself, and most of your colleagues here were either in the university or there were some of them in primary school, and a friend of mine here was a teacher. We have had a post-election violence in each and every one of them, except the one of 2002. In your opinion, what is that line or thread that goes through all this? And how, in your opinion, will your presence in the IEBC, how will that be resolved in your opinion? Thank you.
Anybody else who has something? Or let her be answering that as members glimpse through the paperwork. then we can ask you, Nene. But most important, point out to us, what is that niche, the great experience you're taking to IEBC, which in your view will make a difference in respect of the commission, totally different from what it has been before?
One so that then
yes, we may, so that
only one very simple question. Mary Karen, you said you are in the Secretariat of Jubilee. Will you assure us that you would not be biased if Jubilee, and we understand Jubilee has a presidential candidate, if Jubilee presents a presidential candidate?
Thank you, Chair and members of this committee. The first question is, as a Deputy Executive Director, where I was a member of Jubilee Party governing body. I wish to state categorically that I was not a member of Jubilee governing body. There was somebody filed a petition in regard to this one, and the law, if you look at Political Parties Act, when any political party is formed, each and every political party must file with the Registrar of Political Parties all the members of their governing body at any given time. In case of any changes, and when they are filed there, the Registrar of Political Parties will have to gazette them in Kenya Gazette, who are the members of the governing body. And in case of any amendment, also the political party has to notify the registrar, and the registrar will, in return, gazette the new members of the governing body. Chair and members of this committee, I wish to state that I was the Deputy CEO petition in the High Court. Records of Jubilee Party from inception to date. And I was actually given and submitted, and I filed an affidavit with this committee attaching the letter from my lawyer, who were called Nyanga Mugisha, who are requesting for the records, for the details, and also the response from the Registrar of Political Parties, which entails who are the original members of the governing body, including the CEO, and then in the second amendment, the current, because I requested from inception to date. And
Chairman,
I wish...
could we have that affidavit that she's referring to?
It's part of material. Please point it out. No, I saw it. I actually saw it. I saw it with a... No, I saw it. I saw it with a letter. No, I saw it. I must confess. I don't know how I saw it, but with a letter at the back detailing that. No, not somewhere else. Just here. But remember, I also saw the petition. I may not have seen the response, but I remember seeing this. Yes. You have it now.
I want to state that I received the invite together with the allegations or the petition against me on the day before yesterday, around 8 p.m. So yesterday morning now is when I did the affidavit and submitted here in the afternoon. That is the best I could do. So I have attached the details showing clearly the initial one, and then when the Jubilee did changes, they were also gazetted, and the current. And you can see on the table there is the list of who was the initial ED and the current ED, including the gazette number of the gazette notice. And I want to state clearly that my name is not there as an executive director. So I want to state, and may it go on record, that I was a technical staff of Jubilee Party of Kenya. Chair, allow me to tackle that with the question of my colleague Otiena Amolo because it is counter-related, so that I don't come there. I want to say that I'm no longer a member of Jubilee Party of Kenya. May it go on record. So I will not even be biased in favor of Jubilee. And even if...
Are you a member of any other party then?
Yes. I'm the member of UDA.
You are a member to UDA?
I'm a member of UDA. Okay. It's good to declare. When I left Jubilee in 2021, I was for a period, somebody can do a search, you know, it's a public domain. Then I joined UDA later on. I personally, I will not be biased, as I've worked. If you go on my track record, from the time I worked in LSK, from the time I worked in vetting board, I have never been biased. Even in Kenya, I discharge my duties professionally. And I want to believe at any time, at any point in time, each and everyone here must have interacted with a party. But when you are dealing, if I find favor, the client is Kenya, and Kenya comes first. And you have to discharge your duties according to the law and the written solution, because I personally owe a duty to Kenya, and I'm accountable to Kenyans at large. Of course, through JLAC. JLAC is the one which will be supervising me. The question of Honorable Farah, elections, what ails us? I've been in political party, and I actually conducted nominations, Jubilee Party nominations, and that is 2017. From the time we did the elections, we went to the Jubilee Party tribunal. That is because you must clear the internal mechanism first of all before going to PPDT, all the way to Supreme Court. Actually, at the end of the day in 2017, I saw 247 affidavits, including the petition in Supreme Court. My affidavits were 5. And what ails us as Kenyans, I think, in my own honest opinion, it's perception. We don't accept laws. It is very difficult at the end of the day, there has to be a winner and a loser. From the time, even when you are starting from the political party, even when somebody loses there, does not accept defeat, and they will even jump ship, go independent, and what have you. So it is perception, and we really need to deal with issue of perception, and we do a lot of civic education and stakeholder building, and this one, even the parties themselves can help us by informing their candidates that at the end of the day, even if we are 5, one will win, not all of them, because the slot is only 1. And when somebody loses, goes back to their supporters and tell them to libiwa, which sometimes, honestly, when you go through them, it is not a question of kuibiwa. And if we do civil education, educate Kenyans and tell Kenyans, please, if your person or supporter loses, even if they normally bind themselves that they are going to support the winner, we need to effect it. I don't know how, but we're almost there, but we need also to go further.
Kuanga kuimbiwa. Is it a reality that sometimes the results may not be as good as they should be? That there is an element of cheating and fraud. Is it common, or does it happen once in a while?
Let me talk from the experience that I did personally at hand at the Jubilee Party. If you do proper nominations and do proper civic education, and each and every person, because you know, as a candidate, you have even your agents. And you train even your agents on how they are going even to guard your elections. Sometimes, hakuna kuibiwa. It might be perception. That is me. And as an umpire, you will stand there and supervise them. I'll even give an example. When we were doing the Jubilee Party election in 2017, there was this member of the county assembly who definitely had lost. And when we were doing the appeals tribunal, He comes to me when I was in my office and gives me his Form 34A. According to him, I need to give him certificate because he had lost, he had won, yet I've given certificate to the other person. When I look at the Form 34A, it had been, they add a zero. Somebody adds a zero. You know, when you add a zero, it makes a total difference. And even that time, at gunpoint, he gave me, it was 2 a.m. And he brought, and he told me, you know, these ones, they are not toys, they are guns. You give me a certificate or not, but there's always God. Something, when you are doing something, somebody comes in.
Mary, Chairman, just to write on that question, Mary Karen, are you saying there are no instances of election irregularities in Kenya?
What I've said, thank you, Council, thank you, Honorable Mheshimiwa. What I've said, I'm giving my experience. I'm not talking outside there. They may be there or there, but I'm talking about my experience. When I say about my experience, I'm not ruling out outside, because there are allegations, but have those allegations been proved? And that is why there is always the court to verify. And whenever there is I want to believe if there was malpractice, the courts will always nullify and you go back to election.
Just through the chair again, just on that point, have you not heard instances of the courts saying the elections are not free and fair, there was ballot stuffing, there was bribery, there was voter manipulation? Are those not irregularities?
Yeah, before she answers, let me also give a bite there. Is it not a presidential election of a Jubilee candidate that has ever been nullified in this country by the courts? So how can she say that the irregularities are out there? Because that is on record in this country.
Right. Just respond to that in your opinion.
I have said whenever the irregularities, the court nullified. That was my answer. Meaning, when there is irregularities, that is why we have to court. And even the Jubilee Party election was nullified because the court found that there were irregularities and it was nullified. Even we've had not one instance, even for the Member of Parliament, MCAs, in which personally I've litigated using my affidavits. And they're nullified and we agree and we move on. So it exists.
Comes the mischief now that if the nominee was associated with the Jubilee Party election that ended up being nullified by court, what confidence does she bring to the Iebc that is being constituted now that will not culminate in the same fiasco that the court had to pronounce as it did?
All right. That I don't know whether nullification was on the part of Jubilee or Iebc, but yes. I leave you to answer that. Farah.
Chair, a rider on that. When the lady, the candidate, is extremely candid, she says, my experience. And that basically refers only to the elections that she took part in. But having said that, Madam Sorobit, election riggings have happened in the past at the national level, at many other constituencies. I'm actually impressed and glad that whatever you conducted yourself as always. And that is usually proved by or demonstrated when somebody jumps ship and becomes independent and wins with a landslide, which means that the previous election itself, or the nomination elections, was basically flawed. But I also understand that anywhere else, party elections are very private matters. My belief on that is very different from what generally happens in the country where people go to litigations on party matters. Party is a private organization. And if the leadership of that party decides on somebody who's going to be a loser, that party loses at the end of the day and does not ascend to power. So, but having now had your own experience, which I want to believe that was very, very good, and the passion with which you speak with, I'm convinced that you did a lot of very fair, free, and credible elections. How do you intend to cascade that into the national elections? Because the national elections, where different parties were running for the presidency, and even at the parliamentary levels, for the longest, have never been free of rigging and manipulations. Thank you.
Yes, you may take those ones in conclusion so that we do the final bit.
Thank you, Chair. On the issue of the Jubilee election, which was nullified, if you read that ruling, there were several other issues not part of the party, and it does not personally affect me, and I was not even mentioned as a party. The irregularities were wide, and even several recommendations were given, and most of it, I think, was part on the part of IEBC, not Jubilee Party. Thank you, Honorable Farah. In IEBC, when I reach there with my expertise, I intend to, first and foremost, I think even we need to start with the proposal on the audit of the last elections. It will tell us where we are, where it went wrong, and how we can improve. Because when you do that one, you'll be able now to know clearly where we are going. And I promise, if cleared by this committee, I'll be a neutral umpire, and I intend to do my best to deliver credible elections to this Kenya. So when you do that audit election and you see what needs to be improved, that's the first and foremost. Second, then again, we need to build consensus and do a lot of civic education to inform Kenyans. And also, I think if I'm successful, we also need to start by from the boardroom and requesting the chairman to do the gazettement so that we do voter registration, because it ought to be continuous, because that is also another way of securing Kenyan rights, because we have a lot of even like the young people who need to also to register as part of election. So those are the things, so that's another thing I'm bringing on my expertise. Even on issue of delimitation of boundaries, we are already too late. And I've not been asked, but on my take, I also think that's an expertise I want to bring. In my own view, we are late. Should have been done by 24th of March this year. I think we need, through this committee, to do parliamentary process and amend Article 89 to allow enlargement of time so that we can do voter registration. So those are some of the things I'm looking at.
Karemba, you're the last one, please.
Now that she has mentioned that we have very many young people who are not yet registered so as to participate in their constitutional right, can the nominee explain to this committee how you are going to convince the young people to rally behind you, yet they are not going to be represented in the commission, and you know too well that in this country we have now the highest population being that of the very young. How are you going to onboard the young people, given that even in the list of the nominees, we do not have a young person representing them?
Yeah, not only young persons, persons with disability. How are we going to look to the world when young persons are not in the commission, as well as persons with disability?
All right, you may give your opinion regarding that. Young persons includes people of how many years? 35 and below. All right.
Thank you, Chair. My take would be this. Trust is not something that's given. It is built with time. And also it's the way you conduct yourself or discharge your duties is when you can win people's trust. When I reach there, if I'm successful, you need to build trust of the young people and see actually that I do matter and represent them. Come up with programs that it will entail them with the young people. When you're making any decision, include them, the young people. Although sometimes it might be difficult to now get, because they need also to have a structured way of engaging the young people. Maybe like in the political parties, they normally have the youth wing. So maybe you can have something like a caucus or that you use to engage the youth, so that you have structured them of way of engaging or dealing with the youth, so that when you're making any decision, do stakeholders engagement with them. But again, when you are doing stakeholders engagement, let's have a structured way of engaging these youth so that you work with them, you onboard them. At the end of the day, even the policies that you're going to make, at the end of the day, they will see that that you are with them. And that is how you can build trust, because trust is built with time. I cannot say today I'm going to build trust today, you entrust me, but it's my actions which are going to show that actually I am carrying with them. PWD, also the same thing. We also need to do programs with them and engage them. They also have a caucus. But again, I think affirmative action. We also need to do affirmative action. The parties also need so much to reach out to them. But this is now me, the way I've been seeing. Maybe in distant future, we may need to give them seats where they'll contest for themselves, the way we now have for the women country rep. Are we going to reduce the number of nominated so that we can give them? I don't know. You know, that is something in future, so that they can contest on their own. That is, I'm saying, that is my own.
That's your own view, because we have the Constitution that also makes provisions,
yes,
and especially through nominations. Now, the last questions are as follows. Number one, tell us whether you've been convicted of any offense, criminal offense in the past.
Chair and members of the
panel. What about Chapter 6 of the Constitution? Have you been held to be in breach of that particular chapter of our Constitution in any event, in any action?
Not at all, Chair.
Good. Do you have any conflict of interest between your own, yourself, your dealings, your families, relatives with IEBC, which you can point out now?
None. And if I'm successful and it should arise, it is upon me to declare.
You declare and deal with it in accordance with the law.
Constitution.
Good. Do you do any pro bono works in the country?
I do through the church, through my church.
You do through your church,
AIC money.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. We do especially for widows and children, in which I am a secretary to one of the committees which do a lot of welfare and the pro bono. We look at them.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. Now, finally, what is your net worth?
My family net worth is 80 million, as I declare.
80.
80.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yes.
Right, what does it comprise of?
It's assets, family assets, the houses and land, and also land in Eldoret, the matrimonial home, cars, and the vehicles.
Your matrimonial home is in Nairobi or in Eldoret?
I have a home in Nairobi and in Eldoret.
And all of them are valued at 80 million? When you put the two together?
The one in Eldoret is, the value in Eldoret is low. Yeah, the one. I think for Nairobi should be 30-something million.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So that's the other difference.
We need to know this, because soon after that, possibly it's going to get enhanced in a manner that will be suspicious, and we shall be putting you to question. All right, do you expect any income, any other income in the near future from any other source? No.
You don't have any cows back at home, even if they're the traditional long-horned ones. No, the same way Nyamira always talks of Nyamira, for me when it comes to pastoralists, cows are always there.
Yes.
So if you have cows there, you better declare them so that in future when you take them to the market, nobody will claim that you took this money from IEBC.
And which name suggests what? Which name suggests about cows? You said as your name suggests.
Sorobit is a cow. You don't know. Sorobit.
In their language?
Yeah. In our language.
All right. Absolutely.
I have cows, they're like 5, but not because my land is small. That is why you get the value kidogo.
Right, we've had you. Okay.
That question, Mary Karen, you are not practicing?
I do practice, but as an associate now, from the time I've been in corporate for long.
And you are not expecting any income out of practice?
As an associate, when you leave, you leave. I'm not a shareholder.
Yeah, it's just a small possible salary for 1 or 2 months. That's the end of it. But, all right. All right, associate. Thank you. Mary Karen, thank you so much. I think we will close at this. Do you have anything else to ask this committee to do for you? What is your prayer to us now? How do we deal with you?
Thank you, Chair. My plea is that you find me favorable, but I leave that to the commission, to the committee, and I promise to discharge my duties independently the way I've been working, from all the way my track record from LSK, even changing the election of LSK from the ballot to the current one. You know, it was me. I'm the one who did it. From the one we used to carry the letters, you know, the carried letters. So I promise to continue working the way I've been working. And one last thing, this committee is doing a lot of work. Thank you. Very good work for Kenya. May the Lord bless you.
Thank you very much. We extend the same blessings to you. We will make a decision, take it to the House, and the House will decide whether to approve or not approve you. But we have heard you to the fullest. Thank you very much. You are discharged.
Thank you very much.
Give Mary Karen our documents, original documents. Make sure nothing is left behind so that we are not accused of having hoarded our documents to our detriment. Honorable members, we will have a short break of 45 minutes. 2:45, we have to be back. 2:45 o'clock. Good, take 30 minutes. Okay, 3 o'clock. Let's say 3 o'clock so that we deal with the remaining at 3. Very good.
Kameme TV, Muthegi wa Rũrĩrĩ.
Naweza kuwa sina godfather, sina any support system, lakini kwa uwezo wake Mwenyezi Mungu, in one way or the other, one day one time, mambo yangu itakuja kuwa sawa. One day one time.
Kwegwatira skize tune one day one time. Hihinya *811 *227 hasha. Wegwatira skize tune one day one time. Thimo-ini yaku umuthi *811 *227 hash.
Vultures are gathering, Ladama. With every bit that falls, power shifts.
I want them to feel the emptiness I feel.
All of our property and assets shall be left to Amichir Achesa. A legacy unravels. Mimi ndio sheria, mfalme wale Murati. Who will be left standing when the last beat falls? Shanga Season 2, Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. on Maisha Magic Plus. Stay connected to DSTV Channel 163 and GoTV Channel 3.
Thirikari ya Murang'a County itogoretio ni Governor Irungu Kang'ata ni marakurehera kigomano kinene kia biashara nikio Murang'a Investment Conference. Kigomano giki gikahanika kuria Thika Greens Golf Resort tariki 13 na tariki 14 mweri wa June. Kiria kirakuhe mweke wa gucemania na network na investors age na kuyonera mieke ere kuwa ya wonjoria thini wa Murang'a County. Mieke ta County Industrial and Aggregation Park kuria Kafati, SMEs Park, Export Processing Zone kuria wena mweke wa agro processing na mage maige. Kuyandikithia ta delegate hihinya *267 *21 hash orege hihinya *267 *21 hash namarihi no shirigi ngiri 12. Murang'a Investment Conference 2025, unlocking Murang'a as an industrial hub.
This May, the stage is set, the mic is on and the search begins. From raw vocals to big talent, the search is on for Africa's next hit maker. Next Superstar is here, premiering May 3rd exclusively on Rainbow TV+. Buy a DTT StarTimes decoder for only 1,399 bob or a DTH for 3,199 shillings to enjoy unlimited entertainment. Join judges Size 8, King Kaka, Motive, hosted by Amina and Butita on Next Superstar. Renew your subscription on DTH Smart Bouquet or DTT Basic Bouquet to enjoy unlimited entertainment. StarTimes, enjoy digital life.
People People Daily, Kenya's trusted newspaper, is making history as the first daily to go fully digital. By transitioning from print to the PD News app, we are delivering the same exceptional journalism you've relied on for years in a completely new way to experience it. It's news for today and the future. No paper, no waste. Just real-time updates and customizable stories. This is a leap towards innovation, sustainability, and a better experience for you, our reader. Download the PD app now on Play Store and App Store. People Daily. News that moves with you.
Bũrũri wa Kenya ũrĩ ngumo nĩ nyamũ ithano nene kana Big 5 DA-inĩ itiganĩte cia nyamũ. Mwaka mũhĩtũku makĩria ma agendi mirioni 2.4 magĩcera na kũrehera bũrũri makĩria ma ciringi bilioni 400. Oho Kenya nĩ gatagatĩ ka mabũrũri 10 marĩa matongu mũno na mũigana wa nyamũ na mĩmera ĩtiganĩte 35,000. O nĩ kũringana na riboti ya mĩtitũ bũrũri-inĩ ya mwaka wa 2024 ĩrĩa yonanĩtie Kenya ĩrĩ na nyamũ cia gĩthaka 25,000 iria nĩ hamwe na tũrũgi na tũtambi 21,700, mĩmera ĩtiganĩte 7,000, bacteria na fungi 2,000.
A whole group that refers to itself as the ant gang.
Kĩeha nĩ atĩ ona Kenya ĩrĩ na ũtongo ũyũ wothe mabũrũri marĩa matongu na tũrĩa nĩme makoretwo magĩkungia wara na kũiya ũtongo ũyũ.
Biopiracy nĩ kĩndũ kĩrĩ na kĩraffectĩte bũrũri mũno tondũ ũngĩrora nĩ gũtuĩka areas nyingĩ cia Laikipia for example kwa mũfano andũ acio moigaga nĩ conservancy mena ciĩtĩ mararora nyamũ cia gĩthaka no makorwo rĩngĩ nĩ makorwo makĩshughulisha na kũiya ũtonga witũ.
ESF, the buyer, DuBont, they are benefited from the country's genetic resources. They are making benefits, the country is not benefiting. What we need is just to have proper laws in place and we need to have proper enforcement.
Ica ikuhĩ arĩ wĩici wa thuraku 5,000 nĩ raia erĩ kuma bũrũri wa Belgium, Vietnam na Mũkenya ũmwe.
No ũkorwo nĩ harĩ kĩndũ kĩrĩ thĩinĩ wa mũthwa ũcio kĩngĩteithia ũrĩmi-inĩ witũ. No ithuĩ tũtiĩkaga research na ona ũngĩtuĩka nĩ wĩka research na gũtirĩ compensation ũheagwo na ũngĩheana information ta ĩyo. No mabũrũri ma nanja ũngĩrehe kĩndũ kĩna value nĩ ũheagwo compensation.
And the insects, they have varied even when you are doing by prospecting on insects. Some of them have even venoms and other things we use for medical, for cosmetics, where we are using even extracting the fats for various industries.
Daniel Wanjoki ũrĩa nĩ mũthuthuria na mũthomi wa maũndũ megiĩ gĩsayansi ahithũrĩte wĩici ũtu wa mbere amu mwaka-inĩ wa 1955. Athuthuria kuma University wa Leicester bũrũri-inĩ wa Ngeretha nĩ magethire tũtambi iria-inĩ rĩa Bogoria kũrĩa maĩ matherũkaga na ĩrĩa ĩhũthĩkaga gũthakaria jinsi na kũmĩhunyũra.
America nĩo mena patent ya organism ĩyo ĩrĩ Lake Bogoria. Nĩ twateire knowledge ĩyo na tũtiakũheirwo compensation. Koguo ĩyo nĩ biopiracy. Especially like mũndũ nĩ athiĩte nginya na mbere na aka patent akũgiria nginya rĩu we ũrĩ Mũkenya ndũngĩhũthĩra chemical ĩyo kana knowledge ĩyo tondũ we nĩwe mwene no yaiyĩtwo kũrĩ ithuĩ.
Tiga ũthondeki-inĩ wa nguo tũtambi tũtũ tũhũthĩkaga gũthondeka ndawa iria icokaga kwendio bũrũri